said this earlier, that you wouldn't be surprised to see a DQ.
Secondly, finally, when the bell rang, Tillery stuck his face out, and Riddick Bowe just hit it. And you see Rock Newman getting involved in this. Both of them almost falling over the rope.
Boxers often find their nerves at a breaking point even during training camp. They push themselves to the limits of their physical and mental capabilities, and in such a state, any unexpected minor issue can set them off.
In my world, bitch. Look at you scared now, you hoe. Scared like a little white pussy. Scared of the real man. I'll fuck you till you love me, faggot. Yeah.
Often losing control can actually benefit boxers, as the added fury and aggression help them knock out their opponent and emerge victorious. But the history of boxing also remembers other, harsher, and yet fair instances where upstarts can get what they deserve. Now let's take a look at them together.
I got dropped, man.
No, you didn't.
No, you won the fight. We'll come back and talk to you in just a moment when you are able.
I was down, man. You hit me when I was down.
That is correct.
Number 1. Lennox Lewis versus Andrew Goota. Now let's recall one of Lennox Lewis's most interesting and spectacular fights, his bout against Andrew. Andrew was a very arrogant opponent who showed no respect towards Lewis. He didn't shy away from trash talking, and a particular fragment from an interview with the Brit is bound to go down in history.
It was just some circus shows where the animals came to perform and didn't want to go on stage and perform. I was disappointed in what actually took place. It just gave boxing another sad and a black eye for boxing. I want to know how you can come and be a boxer and all of a sudden decide that you don't want to fight and walk out the ring.
Before facing Lewis, Andrew had fought 30 times, winning 28 and losing 2. He was considered a decent prospect who, at his best, could have contended for the championship. But Lewis was not going to forgive Andrew for his underhanded tactics, and that night he punished him thoroughly. As the first minute of the fight passed, Lewis switched into wild mode, attacking Andrew aggressively. In an instant, Lennox had pushed his opponent into a corner and continued the onslaught. While Andrew tried to counterattack, he attacked foolish and clumsily because Lennox had no intention of letting him off the hook. Lewis kept pounding on Andrew until he dropped to the canvas. Although Andrew got up almost immediately, he was clearly in shock. After such a knockdown, Andrew faced well-deserved consequences, including a broken jaw and a concussion. But Lewis was not about to stop. As soon as Andrew stood, Lennox unleashed a fury of 8 punches, sending him into a knockout. Overwhelmed by blood and unbearable pain, the Polish boxer decided not to rise again, and that was a damn good decision. Number 2. Mike Tyson versus Trevor Burke. We simply had to pay homage to this classic fight in the world of boxing and include the most famous knockout artist in the world.
Well, on paper, I guess he is, but if he happens to get knocked out in 1 or 2 rounds, then what can we say?
Burke was the last person to fight Ali, and he hurt Ali very bad. When you fought him, was there any revenge?
100%, yes, no doubt about it. I was going to kill him.
Let's dive into the details. Tyson traditionally stepped into the ring wearing black shorts and boxing shoes without socks. Burke, already displaying underhanded tactics, chose black shorts as the champion, which prevented Mike from appearing in his usual style. Burke didn't hold back with his sharper marks, trying to get inside Mike's head. During the fight, at the end of the first round, Burke even went too far, sticking out his tongue at peak Tyson. This was nothing less than saying, "Hey Mike, is that all you can do?" Peak Mike couldn't tolerate such disrespect and audacity, which is why retribution awaited in the second round. Just look at that punch. Burke tried to get up 3 times, but his legs wouldn't cooperate. Tyson punished the arrogant and brash opponent in his signature style. Bravo, Mike. Number 3. Floyd Mayweather versus Victor Ortiz. Let's step away from the classics of boxing and move into the modern era. We all know about Floyd Mayweather and his talent. His career includes many amazing fights, but one of the most controversial and contentious is the bout against Victor Ortiz.
Motherfucker! Get down here on my gym! Put me out, motherfucker! Man, let him go, Burke! Put me out, motherfucker! Put me out, motherfucker! Put me out! Put me out, motherfucker! Motherfucker, get the fuck out of my gym! I beat your motherfucking ass, motherfucker!
After a series of business failures and issues with promoters, Mayweather was on edge, and in training camp he was on the verge of fighting with his coach, and any small thing would set him off. But the actions that took place in this fight went down in boxing history not only as dirty tactics, but also as one of the coldest knockouts. In the first 3 rounds, Floyd dominated and was simply untouchable for his opponent. In the 4th round, something happened that caused thousands of fans to turn away from Ortiz. Frustrated by a series of landed punches, he furiously attacked Floyd, who was learning against the ropes. However, Ortiz's thrown punches missed their target again, and then he delivered a cheap shot with his head. This finally pushed Floyd over the edge, and he was ready to take any action to punish the opponent for the displayed dirty disrespect. The referee stopped the fight and deducted a point from Victor. As soon as the bout resumed, Ortiz apologized to Mayweather, but while Victor began to step back with his hands down, Manny Mayweather sent him to the canvas with a left hook and a right straight. Ortiz couldn't recover. He was lost under that devastating power. The referee, in shock, stopped the fight. Later, the referee admitted that once the fight started, a boxer must constantly protect themselves, and that Floyd did nothing that contradicted the rules. Thus, Mayweather punished his opponent with his own dirty methods. So, what do you all think about this dirty knockout? Let me know in the comments. Number 4. Riddick Bowie versus Elijah Tillery. Guys, get ready for some real madness in the ring. This fight is known to very few people, but what happens in it is truly insanity. You remember the famous knockout artist Riddick Bowie, right? At the peak of his career, he faced the brash and brutal Elijah Tillery. The bout carried the intrigue of a clash between 2 strong and fierce knockout artists and a chance to compete for the world title, but the fighters took this fight personally. In the first fight between Riddick Bowie and Elijah Tillery, after the bell signaling the end of the opening round, the fighters continued to pummel each other. Tillery landed a couple of kicks and Bowie pinned him against the ropes and knocked him out. The heat was escalated by Bowie's notoriously controversial manager, Rock Newman, who grabbed the knockdown and weakened Tillery from behind and fell with him out of the ring. As a result, Tillery was disqualified from the kicks and a Newman was fined.
Rock and Riddick, why does something like this happen? Is it emotion?
I don't know. I guess he was hyped for the fight, and perhaps he really didn't know how to handle it. I told you guys earlier, he's starting to get some attention, and he really don't know how to handle it.
Number 5. Floyd Mayweather versus Mikuru Asakura.
That's interesting.
Mayweather built a massive fortune in boxing, creating a legendary legacy and established himself as one of the greatest boxers in history. But this guy made a real mess.
That's interesting.
Just look at this. The Japanese fighter Asakura showed not only disrespect for Mayweather's career, but he practically laid flowers on it, signaling that it was over. The Japanese fighter aimed to destroy Mayweather and become the first to win, right? But he only made it to the 2nd round. In his first, he was throwing punches while Mayweather was waiting and dodging the Japanese shots. Meanwhile, the American was landing body shots near the dividing line. In the second 3-minute round, Mayweather connected with right overhands. He considered Asakura's jabs, although Mikuru did manage a couple of decent hits. But that didn't throw Floyd off at all. In the final seconds of the round, he knocked Asakura out with a right straight. In doing so, Floyd Mayweather not only punished the overconfident and cocky little rat, but also earned a staggering $20 million in just 6 minutes. That's about $3 million a minute. Not a bad cash at the end of the professional career. Many professionals dream of such money, and crowd favorite Mayweather still make money at 45. And that's all for today. I'd love to hear your comments and see your likes. See you soon.